That's where
You
we
know.
need Matuidi.
Matuidi.
Yeah, right. Where
it's not
where
gonna be
is
just
Blaze? What's up, guys? It's Inter Miami Talk. I'm Chris Osada, joined by Mike Morris and Alex Vasquez. Inter Miami lost against Nashville FC, two expansion teams, two brand new teams to MLS facing off. 1-0 Nashville. That was a frustrating game to watch. I mean, it was just like a lot of opportunities that were missed for Inter Miami.
Nashville came out with a lot of adrenaline, coming out really hard. They possessed the ball. They wouldn't even let Miami touch the ball. They're in the first 20, 15 minutes. They used a lot of energy up.
Yeah, I felt at points it felt we were very isolated and spread out. You know, like Morgan was doing well on the right wing, and at times like Pizarro would, do well, get by a couple people, but the link-up play was lacking. Lee Nguyen was basically that as a sub for us. He was getting the ball from the center backs, driving the ball forward, where there was times where I feel like Trapp and you all both were just kind of sitting there, and they weren't coming to receive the ball.
I felt like today they played more from the outside in than they did maybe in that Orlando City game too. I mean, really, the majority of the game was just get the ball to Morgan out on the wing and have him whip something in, and hopefully something happens. With how creative Pizarro is in the middle, I feel like with Matuidi, we may be able to link those two and play from the inside and then maybe move out.
Another disappointment for me today was Carranza. He was kind of left alone on an island just with those four attackers up there with him. And he's not a striker that's going to get in behind and with pace. That's why I'd like to see Robinson.
Yeah.
He's not a striker that's going to hold up play like a big body. He's more of a quick 1-2 poaching type of finisher. He's going to do the quick touches with your guys, and he's going to try and snap something quickly around the box, but he just never had that guy up there with him to do that with. And they couldn't get into those dangerous positions in the first place. You got to credit Nashville some for that. Godoy was a monster today. He shut down everybody for the first 60 minutes of this game that tried to attack that defense.
And Zimmerman looked really good too.
Zimmerman sweeping up back there. And I criticized Zimmerman for the last few games. I thought he looked like a terrible defender that I was like, this guy should never be considered for the U.S. national team ever again. And then now today he looked like, oh, wow, he could start for the U.S.
I would love to see Carranza and Robbie Robinson start next game, just to see how that works.
I would love to see a second striker with this lineup.
Yeah, with the amount of crosses we've been swinging in, I think if we are going to build from the outside, and you saw Breck Shea coming in and getting a lot of crosses in at that end of that game. If we have more bodies in the box, stuff will happen. It's just there's so many times where we only have 4 guys forward, and those midfielders are sitting deep, and those right and left backs aren't getting forward.
Because you brought up Breck Shea, which is what I was going to talk about, is how great they played when the subs were in, and I feel like they didn't get that, they didn't get the amount of time that they needed in, and I feel like maybe making some subs a little earlier instead of the 75th minute. Yes. I think bringing in guys like Nguyen and Breck Shea, who can't give you 90 minutes, they can't. But they can give you a good 30 minutes of football.
A couple keys in the first half. Disallowed goal and then the not called handball. The disallowed goal I thought was clearly a foul pushing the back.
I agree,
100%.
But I almost think that one's almost less egregious than the handball. I know Mike feels like the handball
rules are so different between everybody. Like there's no clear-cut rule anymore. So some people say if it's not intentional, almost every handball's not intentional in the box. But then for a lot of Premier League, they say if it's up and away from the body, and this one was and they say usually if the back is turned, then they usually let the handball go.
Going into that second half with that penalty, I mean, I really think there was should have been a penalty call there in the second half.
When Robbie Robinson got tackled.
He got wrestling moved to the ground. That was a football tackle.
That's one where the back angle, which is the only angle they showed us, it looked like a foul. If they only have that angle, I call that a foul.
I just find it crazy when they decide to use VAR and not use. Even and it's not even just an MLS thing. In the EPL and any league that's included it, there's so many times where you're like, how do they not review that? But how does that get disallowed or overturned?
Where do you think we could see some change from this game to the next.
I just hope maybe Pellegrini gets swapped out for Robinson. You know, he did well at the start of the season. He got hurt. We didn't see him in the MLS kickoff tournament.
I want to see more from Robinson because this kid has talent. He just hasn't had enough game time to build his confidence and show what he can really do. And once those rookies like start to get that confidence, they can really go off. And I would like to see him even up there, 2 strikers with Carranza, just pull out one of those wings. Yeah, Pizarro's going to have to do a little bit more defensively on that left side, but we've shown that our back 6 defensive structure is pretty solid as long as we're not shaking that up too much.
There's one more thing I want to bring up.
Mhm.
Why the hell does MLS have these damn overlays on the bleachers, man? The ball's getting lost in the stands.
The digital overlays.
Yeah.
MLS
Nobody else
gets
is doing that.
our red card of the week for that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like if I have to see a long pass disappear for 5 seconds and then try to assume where it's gonna fall down.
It's like an outfielder in MLB. It's like, where's the follow the guy?
You're just watching him waiting for it. I think it's gonna land there.
It's like there's intense fog. That's basically what it is.
Yes, really.